has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Hey everybody, christopherodd here. I am super pumped to start a Darkest Dungeon run. Since this opening section of the game is very straightforward, I'm going to take this time to cover off some important points about this playthrough. First things first, you guys might not know this, but Darkest Dungeon is one of my favorite games of all time. It's been a go-to game that I normally stream when there's downtime. However, now that there aren't any major new releases on the horizon for quite a while, I really wanted to start and complete a full run on YouTube and make it special. I have experience in some areas of the game, but I'm going to be totally blind in other areas. Second, if you're new to Darkest Dungeon, I'd recommend checking out the tutorial that I've linked in the description. Darkest Dungeon, at least in my opinion, is pretty easy to learn, but it's really hard to master. So after this video, go and watch that tutorial below if you still have some questions, and you're going to be right up to speed. Now, this is going to be a modded run that focuses mostly on new classes, some new enemies and bosses, as well as a whole new area called the Sunward Isles. As always, I have the mod list in the description below, and I just want to give a huge shout out to all of the modders for their hard work. I've actually had the pleasure of chatting with a few of them. They're all super nice, super welcoming, and I'm excited to kind of showcase their work, so thank you guys very much. For those that don't know about this game, Darkest Dungeon can be extremely punishing. We're going to lose heroes. I'm playing on Darkest difficulty, which is basically as hard as we can make it without having a timer or a death maximum. And there's a mechanic in the game called Dismissal, where you can just get rid of heroes. And it's a really good strategy to use in most circumstances when they have really bad quirks or they're super stressed and you can't afford to reduce it, or you don't want to pay to reduce it. Because you guys are submitting heroes and I'm using heroes that you guys have put time into creating, I'm going to avoid dismissing heroes wherever possible. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult, especially economy-wise, as it costs money to reduce stress if we can't get it done during the dungeon runs. That said, I'm using a mod called the Anti-Grind and Larger Stagecoach, which makes it so that we can upgrade our stagecoach and get chances of receiving heroes of a higher resolve level. We also benefit from a larger roster size so that we can have a lot of variety, use all of the classes, and that's going to help to avoid dismissing some heroes as well. And I think it's a fair way of balancing everything. Lastly, for the role players, if you're deciding to write for your character that gets in, or if you want to write for NPCs or whatever you want to do, Discord is going to have all the information that you need. If you're not already there, I'll have a link in the description for you. Ideally, you can post your logs in the YouTube comments and Discord, then post an interesting excerpt from your logs in the appropriate channel on Discord as well, so that I can share them in the videos. And I'll be incorporating that into our mission load times. So anyways, here we go. So for those that don't know, that quest is basically the same. It is the same every single time. These guys come in, it's the same 2 characters every time. We're going to change them and incorporate your backstories. Wheeled Explorers, pretty nice. We'll take that. Let's visit the Hamlet, shall we?
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now.
Thank you.
You are bound to them.
So I've got tutorials on here only because if you guys want to pause the video on any of these pop-ups, feel free if you're new to the game. But again, I have a tutorial link down below. I'll just be dismissing them rather quickly, but again, pause if you want to read those. So quickly, let's check out what we have access to. There's a lot of things we don't have access to right now at the Y'all Probably Dead estate. This is our graveyard, which is going to fill up. Let me tell you. Nomad Wagon for buying trinkets with money that we don't have, and then Ancestors Memoirs,
gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
This is for reviewing any of the small videos that come up.
The tragic extent of my failings.
Okay, so let's recruit our new Plague Doctor and our Vestal,
fools and corpses. All
and
will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
We'll go ahead and upgrade this so that we can get more people coming in. So let's upgrade this. We have, we're going to do some trades here. So we can get 4 people coming in straight away.
This domain of the damned.
Actually, I only need to trade that. That'll work for me. Increasing roster size will be nice. We have a mod that's increasing the roster size, as I mentioned in the intro. So we already have 27, which is pretty huge, but we're going to fill these up rather quickly, especially if we're bringing in, 4, 5, 6 heroes every week. That'll get jam-packed. There's nothing else that we can do right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename these guys and then introduce you to our first 4 heroes that are... we'll hope maybe they'll be around for a while. Maybe. Okay, it's now nighttime. We can introduce our first 4 heroes. Will they survive? Place your bets. I am betting probably not, but I'm going to try my best to keep them alive. So this is our Crusader, Revere the End. He's got a couple of quirks going on. Warrior of Light, which is really good. Extra damage if torch is above 75. He's also got God-Fearing and Kleptomaniac. Definitely want to get rid of Kleptomaniac as soon as we can. But we gave him a cool little custom look here. His backstory is this. I return to the once opulent mansion with a singular focus. I wage holy war on the darkness that consumes the land. I shall smite all demons that I face with the righteous backing of the heavens. Glory and vengeance shall permeate through my soul and ripple out with concussive blasts. Each instance, the enemy encounters my manifested judgment. Shall I fall in battle, I will rest knowing that the holy flame is being rekindled, and I will, wait for it, revere the end. Very nice. Well done. So his abilities, we've got Smite, Zealous Accusation, Stunning Blow, and Bulwark of Faith, which I'll probably replace as soon as we can start training other skills. Next up, we've got our Highwayman, Brooks Layfield. He's got 3 quirks going on. Hard Noggin and Quick Reflexes he always starts with, this initial Highwayman. We've got Wheeled Explorer, which is quite nice. I'll take it. But he's a known cheat, so he's not allowed to gamble in town. So a little bit of restriction on his... where we can heal him, or stress heal him, I should say. Weapon-wise, he's got Pistol Shot for some range, Grape Shot Blast, AoE. We've got Tracking Shot, which is fine. It's a de-stealther, which is okay, and it buffs us a little bit. And then Open Vein, which is quite nice for some bleed. His backstory reads as such. Some people have regrets. Grinnin' Brooks Layfield doesn't. He revels in lying, cheating, and stealing his way through life, taking advantage of others with an outwardly warm grin and a vocal styling best suited to a man of nobility, callously taking everything he can get his hands on and giving nothing back. It's not that he's greedy, no, he cares little for the actual coin and property involved. Those are just pieces on the board. Hell, he might even donate the contents of a big score once in a blue moon. What he cares about is the victory itself and the act of thoroughly defeating an opponent. And the sweetest of all, when his underhanded methods are praised. So, this Hamlet offers a method of fighting only the most deserving opponents, then by all means, let the games begin. Oh, really cool. I'm stoked on these two guys already. This is fantastic. Okay, next up, we have our Plague Doctor, Edwin Drakenbury. Now, he's got a unique quirk here. You can only have one per roster. Plus 66% guard duration received, which will come into play later, not so much with our current squad, but that could be quite nice, depending on the situation. He's got Beast Hater, which is fantastic. Extra damage and less stress against Beast, but he's got Imposter Syndrome, consumed by thoughts of inadequacy. This could be problematic with certain types of curios. What type of unlocks did we get here? So we got the backline Plague Grenade, which is really nice. We've got the Blinding Gas for the duo stun in the back as well. Very nice. Incision is cool. If we keep him in 3rd rank. And then Emboldening Vapors for a little buff of damage and speed. I'll take it. Edwin Drakenbury's bio coming up. My name is Edwin Drakenbury. I'm one of 7 heirs to the Drakenbury Manor and fortune, but only 3 of us now remain. Some died from misfortune, others from jealousy, and others may have eaten something they shouldn't have. But I like my little brother and sister, so I hope they stay in this world. I've learned much since I've left home, many things that have helped me on my path, seen things I shouldn't have, and things I wish I hadn't. Some things are just for my own vanity or knowledge, and some were for necessity. But I just hope that I can finish my memoirs before I die, my life's work and catalog of all I've done, seen, and heard. And if I do, then may I die with dignity. Excellent. Welcome to the team, Edwin. Happy to have you. Last up, we've got Gray, our Vestal, coming in with Wield Scrounger. It's fine. Covephobe, not fine. These extra stress quirks, got to get rid of those ASAP. Current unlocks on Gray are Mace Bash, so good versus Unholy, which is good in the Ruins, where we're going to spend the first couple of missions. We've got Dazzling Light for another stun, which is really cool. And we'll be putting Gray in the back line, so we're not even going to really benefit from Mace Bash right now. But then we've got our single target heal of 4 to 5, and our party heal at 1 to 3, which is pretty nice. So I'm okay with this. And Gray's bio is as such. Gray always showed too much friendliness to ladies and not enough to lords for her father's liking. So it was off to the nunnery for her 16th birthday. Her father wanted her to break under Abby's strict scriptures, but Gray thrived. It turns out that when magic is involved, there's not so much difference between black magic and white. When Gray reached the age of majority, she was allowed to travel and proselytize. And as it happens, her favorite places to do so are brothels and courtyards, where she heard about the estate with the unknowable horrors in its hamlet. She knew she would fit right in. That's awesome. Really cool. We did pick up a trinket when we were out there. We've got a bleed amulet. So plus 20% bleed skill chance, 20% bleed resist, and minus 20 blight resist. I think that's fine. We'll equip it on him, so we've got it. There's not much else that we can do here right now. We have to do a couple missions before certain things unlock. So we're going to embark.
A mecca of madness and morbidity.
And we're going to do the very first ruins mission here. Explore 90% of rooms. Let's bring these guys in. I think we said we're going to keep you in the back. We'll put you 3rd so that you can use that other attack if necessary. And Gray, you're basically just going to be healing and maybe getting some stuns in where we can. This is the usual suspects. Revere the End, Brooks, Edwin, and Gray. Our first official mission. Let's begin, shall we? So let's see.
Measured now in gold, later in blood.
This first mission is pretty standard as well. I don't want to say it's scripted, but I think that all of the enemies are the same for the very first mission. So I'm going to take a little bit of food. We're going to take a little bit of torches. Usually we take a little bit more than this. Couple of keys, shovels. We have some holy water. I think that's fine. I'll maybe grab some medicinal herbs just in case something wild happens. And I think that should be okay. Let's rock and roll. Now, this would be the part where I would normally be reading character log excerpts, similar to how I would do it in XCOM. They're going to be about 30 seconds in length, and I think it'll just be a good thing to get to know our characters a little bit more before they die, of course. All right, now, I'm not going to be doing anything crazy torchless-wise right now. Maybe somewhere in the campaign we'll do torchless runs, but for now we're going to try to keep our guys as safe as possible. These guys come in with 20 extra stress because they're level 0s, and this is a level 1 dungeon, so they take that hit straight away, which is kind of rough. Let's move. I generally try to keep our torchlight fairly high, and because he's got kleptomaniac, you never know what he's going to steal. He'll probably steal the most important stuff. All right, these two guys. Oh, really? We got the surprise. That's very rare, but we do get to use Mace Bash now, which is kind of cool. She's dealing extra damage versus Unholy. Let's rock and roll. Bye-bye. This is good. Get some stress reduction there. And let's just hit him. He won't bleed. He's got super high resist. We could shuffle, but I think what we'll do... I'm going to actually buff her speed. So that maybe on the next round... Yeah, because he's not going to be able to do anything. On the next round, she can act first, preferably. And maybe we get some extra stress reduction. Okay, not quite. He's still got it. We could toy around. He's got a speed of 0. I'm gonna take this. There we go. And then we'll give her this stun, which is enough damage to kill.
Continue the onslaught.
There we go. Just a little bit of extra stress reduction there. That's very rare. We had torchlight really high, and we still got swapped around. That does not happen all the time. This is unlocked. Let's just grab it. Okay, cool.
For a task well performed.
So we found blood already. This is something that comes into play more at the Crimson Court DLC, which we'll be tackling a little bit later when we're ready for it. But hey, we'll take the blood now. That's fine. Got a shovel and some onyx for some gold. Happy about that. And he didn't steal it, so exceptional. Let's roll. First obstacle, we came prepared.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
And we'll see what this battle is here. We should still be above. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, so general approach. Backline is usually more dangerous. They're the ones usually dealing stress damage, which in my opinion is the type of damage we need to avoid. We can always heal, and when we leave a dungeon, we heal to full anyways. It's the stress that we always need to manage, so I'm going to try and take care of this one ASAP. Brooks, lay down a pistol shot on that backline, please. Thank you for not missing. Excellent. Right in the chest. We'll go for a little stun here if we can. If we can't kill him, we'll try to get him to stop acting. Very nice. There we go. And we could go for this front line here, but I think if we can get 2 damage, that's not going to happen, eh? Let's do this anyways. Let's put the blight on. So that's an extra 4 damage. But if our buddy here, Brooks, can go first next round, we'll be laughing. We've got Zealous Accusation. It's a decent amount of damage if we want it. It could kill this one, but I think we'll just go for a more certain kill.
Another abomination.
Unless we whiff.
From our lands.
Okay, let's actually Grape Shot Blast this. We only need a very small amount of damage, and then we can inflict some damage here as well. Oh, she dodged. Are you kidding? That's rough. That's rough. Okay, we got lucky. We still went ahead of her speed-wise. In case you're wondering how the speed stuff works, so in the background, everybody rolls an 8-sided die, and then they add whatever they got to the speed, their natural speed. So the higher speed you have, the higher chance you have at going first in the new rounds, but it's not guaranteed because of that dice roll. Anyways, let's see if we can get more blight on there. Oh, 2 dodges. Are you for real, though? That's rough, because now we're going to take this stress damage. That hurts. That hurts. That hurts. But it's okay. So she's going to die out. We're going to ignore her now. We're going to go with a little bit of Let's do a stun here. See if we can stop him. Very nice. Whenever we do that, we get some torchlight as well. I'm probably explaining things that are super basic to most of you that have played the game, but I feel like for some, if you're just watching this for the first time, I'm trying to explain a few things for you. We could also... I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to use this skill, which I think is fine, but it saves us a torch. It basically takes us up to full while we kind of dilly-dally doing other things. Let's go here, buff some damage.
Slowly.
If we can get a heal in here, that would be nice.
Our life is taken.
Not going to happen. We should get it now. There we go. Yeah, we can just heal up front. Good job, Gray. Laying it down. And crushed.
Back to the pit.
Okay. Now, I should be trying to pick up the kills on Edwin here just to get that stress reduction. But I'm pretty sure in this first dungeon, we're going to have an altar that we can use to reduce that stress. So as long as we don't have any more major whiffs, should be okay. Not getting any scouting, which is a bit unfortunate. Sometimes we'll hit a scouting chance and it'll reveal everything around us, which is nice.
Wealth
Extra
beyond
key and
measure,
deeds.
awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
I could have probably gotten away with bringing one key. We'll for sure use one. The reason I bring two is because sometimes, speaking of, sometimes Revere will steal stuff, and that causes some extra problems. So, anyway. Okay, so we get to act first. I don't want any more stress. So normally I would Plague Grenade first here, but we have a couple of other backline hitters. You know what? Let's actually do this. Let's see if we can bring her right down. So she's toast. That's actually excellent. Thank you. We'll try and drop a stun here on this heavier hitter. She's got decent stun resist at 25. We got it, though. Excellent. Oh, Revere just crushing. This guy is speed 5, so not bad. Edwin, nice job. Got that bleed on there, so we need 5. I wonder, what's our speed here? 4, his is a 5, so depending, we might get it. I'm gonna do this again. Buff our torch back up, see if we get to go first. That's too bad. That's fine. I was just trying to do that because we can maybe reduce some stress there by picking up the kill, but anyway. Let's go ahead and unlock this with the key. Now, in terms of curios, like, I've got a decent amount of time in the game.
Trinkets and baubles.
When I was streaming this game, I would have a notepad that I'd be tracking all of my interactions on for when I would touch it, for what different items would do. They eventually implemented something into the game where it tells you now, it remembers. So if we open up something and you look at your items, it'll tell you, it'll have an icon showing you what the possibilities are. All right, scouting, cool. Traps are not necessary right now. We can use them for a bit of stress reduction, but these guys aren't going to have good trap disarm. 10%. Brooks has really good trap disarm though, so he would be fine. Let's go back through here. We'll hit this curio. We kind of want to like max out what we can get in this dungeon. And in terms of episode length and stuff like that, I'm going to try to keep it, except for this first episode, we'll try to keep it to 1 mission per video. And we'll do all of the town stuff at the end of the video, get set up for the next one. Here he goes. He's going to steal it from us. Excellent. Okay, that's not the worst thing to lose. Could be worse. Could be worse, but I would prefer that you don't steal from us, Revere. If you could just, hold off on that, that'd be great. Thanks. There it is. There's the altar that we want. So no real stress dealers here, but let's hit the back line here. Oh! Brooksy. That's good, too. All right. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Now, this was something that was added sometime in the past couple of years, but when you crit on a hero now, you get these crit buffs. that impact every hero differently. So for him, when he gets a crit, he gets extra speed, so he's going to go sooner in the round next time, which is quite nice. Let's go ahead and do Blight in the back there. So he's toast. We can maybe get a stun out on one of these guys. Very cool. All right, you want to lay it down here? Almost, Revere. I'm going to actually, Yeah, okay. Let's take the grape shot. Clear out 2 of them.
Broken. Maintain the offensive.
These guys are hanging in there just fine. Let's get a little party heal going on here. Not bad, Gray. Not bad at all. Thank you.
Confidence
Victory.
surges as the
Okay.
enemy crumbles.
Another shovel. Extra blight. I like that. I do like that. We can throw that on right now on Edwin. I'll take it. And we're going to interact with this, the Holy Fountain. It's going to do a bit of healing, and it's going to do some stress reduction. So, very cool. Very cool. We're managing it pretty well so far. For those that don't know, when you hit 100 stress, then you have a chance to either get an affliction or a virtue. Virtue's good, afflictions are bad. You have a much higher chance of getting an affliction, which causes your heroes to do things outside of your control, which is always bad, by the way. Always bad. Okay, since we're getting close to the end of the dungeon, we have 5 torches left. He's gonna steal it. Come on. Never mind.
If only treasure could staunch the flow.
That's fine. It's not super high value items. I was going to snuff the torch because you get better loot when it's darker. Just for some min-maxiness. But we'll save that till the last room now. So we could leave, but we're going to continue adventuring. We have shovels to deal with that obstacle. And then we can take a fight here that hopefully goes our way. And go from there. Okay. So let's torch up to max. Let's eat any food that we have before we go into the last room here. And let's rock and roll. Okay, Bone Courtier. Gotta die. Oh, don't like that. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Speed of 8. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I probably should have stunned somebody else, but it's fine. Let's put as much damage in here as we can. So Bone Courtier is dead. The other guys, I'm not so worried about. Almost. Setting up for a decent grape shot blast, actually. So stunned. We could put a stun on this one, or I can just stack more of the plague grenades. I think we'll go for the stun. Very cool. We get a lot of value out of this blight that's already there.
Unforgiving.
We could grape shot blast this front group here.
Press this advantage.
Let's do it.
No quarter.
I'll take that. A little bit of stress reduction. So when she crits, she gets extra healing skills. Very happy to see that. Let's start putting damage into the front guy here. He needs a little damage back here, and then the damage over time should kill. There we go. He's toast now.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Yeah, we could take this. Oh! I forgot that the stun does 0 damage. I should have just healed there. That's okay. We got lucky. All right, cool. So we'll take this. We're gonna snuff out our torch. I'm gonna try to be as efficient with this as I can. This is just really nice because we get extra loot. So if we have a chest or something at the end of a mission, snuff the torch, get more stuff. Let's use a key. Very cool. Very happy. This is not the greatest, but we got a little unlucky there with a couple of whiffs. I'm pretty happy overall. This is a basic stone. I don't know if we're going to use this. We'll likely just sell it. That's something we'll have to consider is selling common trinkets to handle some of our stress reduction needs. All right. What did Brooks get? Antsy, plus 20 stress when idle in town for a week. Not amazing. Minus 20% stress in the Cove, though. Very good. And Gray, love interest. Only visits the brothel. Excellent, Gray. Excellent. That actually fits your backstory so good. So good. That's so good.
Let me share with you the terrible wonders I have come to know.
Okay, so we've got some severe negative quirks. For those that don't know, these have a chance to be locked in when you're just venturing into extra dungeons. So God-fearing is going to cost more to remove now once the sanitarium's unlocked. Klepto is still available, though, for cheap, which is quite good. So, yeah, I'm happy with this. These are really nice early quirks with Wield and Cove bonuses here for Brooks. The stress, or the Abbey is available now.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight.
So we might put Edwin in.
The faithful.
We'll see. We can't do any quirk management yet. Tavern as well.
Fresh kegs,
Brothel for Gray,
and
potentially.
Rooms
More importantly, though,
to the weary and broken alike.
Let's see our first, or our next 4. All right, cool. Paracausalist. This is a really weird class. It's part of a mod called Beyond Mortality, which introduces new enemies into the ruins called ectomorphs. And these guys have bonus damage versus ectomorphs. As you can see here, 15% damage. Their gun has kind of this like ramp up, and then you need to cool it down. It's a little bit more complex to use. Let's see what he's got here. So Blade Master. So he's got melee skills, which is not great. Not amazing. Thick-blooded, plus 10% blight resist. Okay. Minus 10% blight resist and minus 10 bleed. And then diurnal, minus 2 speed of torch below 26, which isn't a huge problem. We've got a bounty hunter, another highwayman, and a falconer, which is a really interesting class as well. So let me do this. I'm going to go and grab some names and read you the backstories for these guys, and then we'll set up our guys for the next run. Okay, so first up, our Paracausalist Kebab. This is a cool class. It's going to be challenging, but I think it's going to be very helpful, especially in the ruins against the ectomorphs, as we mentioned. He's coming in with a scanner scope here for some de-stealthing. We've got short controlled burst, which is very nice. This is his kind of standard attack. And then he's got ectoplasmic overcharge. It induces some stress, some blight, but it buffs him. 25% damage and extra crit. It goes on cooldown for 2 rounds, though. And then lastly, he's got the Goliath Cage. This is an AoE attack hitting everybody on the enemy side. Accuracy of 95. It can shuffle the group. It causes him to get 10 stress guaranteed. Other heroes have a 75% chance for 7, 50% for 5, 25% for 3 stress. It also debuffs all those targets, reducing their damage and their speed, but it debuffs ourself with 30% extra stress for a few rounds. So it's kind of a scary one to use, especially if we don't have a lot of stress healing going on. I'm okay if somebody takes, 3 stress, but this could be dangerous depending on the situation. So this is Kebab. His backstory is as such. An explorer of dark and hidden places, Kebab searches for artifacts of mysterious power, artifacts that are suggestively shaped and preferably both. Some are kept, some are sold, and all are carefully studied and admired. To this adventurer, there is little difference between science and magic, technology and ritual. The universal cycle of death and rebirth is threatened by the oblivion lurking beneath the Hamlet, and he knows that to defeat it, one must use any tool at their disposal, which actually fits really well. It's kind of a weird class, like almost like a Ghostbuster style. And once you see the ectomorphs, it'll make sense because they're pretty crazy. Next up, we've got Lachlan, our bounty hunter. Bounty hunters are a cool class. Let's check out what kind of outfits we got going on here. We could go into like some Geralt looks if we want, but we'll maybe save those. We'll take this yellow look for Lachlan right now. He's got Manslayer, which is really nice. Tough as well. Can kind of tank a little bit. A little bit of minus bleed resist, which is fine. In terms of current unlock skills, he's got Collect Bounty, which is his basic attack. Does a lot of damage versus marks. This is his mark for death, so if we have a larger enemy that we can't kill right away, we'll throw this down, follow up with a Collect Bounty. Come Hither, which is a pull and a mark, so we can get people out of position. Very, very helpful against those stress dealers. And then Caltrops to hit that back line for some bleed and debuff their speed, and they'll take extra damage. So he's ideally suited for position 2 here. Lachlan, welcome to the team. Happy to have you. His bio reads as such. He fought long and hard upon the brutal hellscape of the battlefield, awash in the sweat and blood of his chosen duty. His very nature ensured he felt it only proper to see an end to an abysmal state of the old manor house, noting the debris of fallen neophytes and veteran adventurers alike, along with the fetid stench and horrific visage of carrion strewn about the old road. A deep breath, a last cleansing of his equipment before he descends into the madness, a final thought of the bonny lass he had left behind in his pursuit of the darkest dungeon. Welcome, Lachlan. Happy to have you. We have a second highwayman, which is pretty rare considering all of the classes that are in here, but I've gone ahead and chosen Jeff. Jeff has an interesting backstory, and, they don't always need to be deep, okay? He comes in with Cove Tactician, extra damage in the Cove, Perfectionist. Don't like that at all. However, he is generally pretty accurate. So we don't have any accuracy modifications. We'll try our best to do that, but we'll definitely want to remove this because that's really bad. Now, his unlocks are different from Brooks. He's got Pistol Shot, which is the same, but he's also got Point Blank Shot, which is going to push him back, do a lot of extra damage, and you can only hit from the front to the front. So a little bit situational there. He does have Duelist Advance, which is nice. It's a riposte, get some extra damage going. So we can combo this with him and the Bounty Hunter maybe in the front line. We can move forward with Duelist Advance. We can move back with Point Blank. I like that approach. And then he's got Open Vein as well. So I think for the next one, taking out these two in the front is probably okay. We don't have to worry too much. Jeff's backstory is this. My name is Jeff. His name is also Jeff. He told me himself. He tells me others are also Jeff, but that's a lie. I am Jeff. They also look like me. I don't like it, so I kill them, for I am Jeff. He said that both me and him came from this land, so now I am here, and if he spoke the truth, I will find a way to kill him, for I am Jeff and no one else. Okay, Jeff. I feel like people are going to really like Jeff, actually. I like that a lot. Okay, next up, we have the Falconer class. This is really cool. You're going to hear this a common theme for all these custom classes. These are really cool. This class is really great. This one's really fun. The Falconer is no exception. Aryasha Lifa Duskmane. She's got steady, so minus 10% stress overall, which is excellent. She receives less stress healing while camping because of Loner. And Ruminator, minus 10% stress healing received. Well, okay. We probably want to fix some of those up. Now, here's the deal with the Falconer. All of these skills have two different effects that you can switch between. In this exact scenario, we don't have the ability to switch them yet. But you'll see here, skill 1, once you use this, this is just a standard kind of shot. It's got a high crit mod, a lot of damage versus marked, so you can see some synergies with those other classes we just picked up already. But when we use this, we're going to buff ourselves with 1 speed. Now, if we had Adapt, we could swap this whenever we wanted and go for the other skill. So if we wanted to debuff the target instead, we could do that. It's a really neat way of having a class that's not strictly a transformation class, but almost feels like you have extra skills, which is kind of nice. Her second skill is Eye Thief or Ravage. Can attack from anywhere to anywhere. It's D-Stealth, debuffs the target's accuracy. In current state, it's going to mark the target. If we could switch it, when we can unlock that, we will. Then she'll be able to impact or inflict a bleed, which is nice. And if that target is marked, it's 100% bleed skill amount added to that. So quite powerful. Next, she's got Spirited Cry or Stalk. So in current form, it'll de-stealth us. It will clear stuns from all of our heroes. So whoever's stunned when we use this, we'll remove that. And give a bonus 5% crit. And it's going to remove 1 stress from everybody. If we were in the second phase or the second skill set, what we'll be able to do is have the buff last until stealth ends. And it'll buff ourselves with stealth for 3 rounds plus 15% crit while stealth. So depending on if we need that stun clearance or if we want to just buff our party for extra crit, depending on what we want to do, what the situation calls for. Then lastly, Fleeting Escape or Harrier. So this is when you get shuffled or stuck in that front line. It's quite obvious that she should be playing from the back line. But if she's up front, this will move her back to reduced... It does reduce damage, reduce crit, debuffs the target, 7 accuracy, but it is an AoE on the front too for the enemy, which is quite nice. Skill 1 is a self-stealth for 2 rounds at a 66% chance, and it clears you of a mark if you are marked. Skill 2 does a knockback of 1, so a little bit of shuffle in that front line, and it does extra damage, so depending on what you want. Now remember, we don't have this unlocked yet, so we'll take a look at that when we can, but ideally we can start swapping these up a little bit. Now we still can't do any unlocks. We have to go on yet another quest, so we will do that. I think I'm probably going to put Edwin into some stress reduction for now. Where do we want to put you? You want to pray? You can pray. Let's maybe go in and do a small boost here. We can reduce the treatment costs as well. It's a lot of our current upgrades. I think that's fine for now. Okay. A strange glow at the farmstead. The comet's impact was felt here in the Hamlet. The great impact toppled gravestones and kicked up a cloud of dust that covered the entire region. When it finally settled, an eerie miasma was seen to spread from the mill. It distorted the rules of time and space far beyond imagining. Venture to the miller's farm to see what has been done. So this is the Color of Madness DLC. We're going to tackle this when we're ready. We might be able to go in there sooner rather than later, but for now we're going to stick mainly to the Ruins Cove Warrens and Weald. Courtyard, eventually. Sunward Isles, I think, opens up week 5 or 6. Which is that new custom area that was built from scratch. Very cool. All right, so who are we going to take out here? We're going back into the ruins. What do we want? This would be good for when we get a flagellant. Extra speed when they're low. That's fine. Leper. Bounty hunter. This is not... like, we would use it if we had it, but it's not something I'd be coveting. And then extra accuracy on range skills, which is actually quite nice. That would be really good for somebody like Jeff, who's got Perfectionist. So we reduce the chance of him missing. I think that could be kind of cool. So let's go for that. And who do we want to take? I'm wondering if we want to take like one experienced person. Maybe we'll do this. We'll take Gray as our experienced healer. We'll take out... we should definitely take out Kebab in case we run into ectomorphs. They only spawn in the ruins, by the way. He has to kind of sit in the back because this short-range burst is pretty much all he's going to be doing right now until we get some other skills unlocked. And then I could put Lachlan in the front and feel pretty good about it because these guys are going to move around a little bit. I wouldn't mind getting our Falconer in there, but with a new squad like this, I think having some healing just as a backup is pretty helpful. So this is going to be the general structure of the videos where we'll come in and we'll decide, okay, here's who we're going to take. We'll maybe do some trinket stuff as well. I don't think we need to do I don't think we need to put this on anybody. I don't want to take the speed reduction for a debuff skill chance. I think that's fine. But the general gist will be, at the end, we're going to go through all of our town stuff, do any recruits, do any upgrades, set up our group to go into the next section, decide which section we're going to, and then if these guys are eligible for any upgrades at the guild or the blacksmith or either of those, then we'll do those before we embark, and we'll leave the episode here. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I really hope that you get into this series. I am, like, obsessed with Darkest Dungeon for the past couple of months, and I'm just like, this is the right time to do it, and I'm super stoked. So if you guys could give me some feedback, I would love to hear it. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like, sharing this with people that you think might like it would mean the world to me. So that would be great. And if you guys could introduce my channel to those new people, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks for watching. And, hopefully we'll be alive here in the Y'all Probably Dead estate. All right? See you soon.